morning. We are back again with Mornings with the Hindu, and I'm your host Abhilasha, and I'll take you through today's very interesting article. This one is on ominous contraction on core sector output. So, this is a take on economy. The latest data on the core sector output is signaling that considerable economic pain lies ahead in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic and the nationwide lockdown that commenced on March 25. The provisional figures released by the Commerce Ministry show that production at all but one of the eight industries comprising the core sector shrank in March from a year earlier, resulting in the sharpest contraction in the index since the new series began in April 2012. That output contracted by as much as 6.5% in a month when most economic activities ground to a halt only in the last 7 days is a worrying augury. While output at petroleum refineries slid only by a marginal 0.5% as a bulk of the transportation sector was idled only in the last week of March, the 7.2% and 13% contractions in electricity and steel production, respectively, reflect the underlying stress in the economy, most crucially on the demand side. With all non essential industries and commercial establishments ordered shut as part of the lockdown, demand for electricity declined by more than 9% in March, according to data from the National Load Dispatch Center. While the power sector has been exempt from the lockdown because of its essential nature, the slump in demand from commercial customers is bound to have a significant sector wide cascading impact as a result of heightened cash flow problems at the already stressed distribution companies that deliver electricity over the last mile to consumers. Coal, the only sector to post a positive figure in March as output expanded 4%, also presents a far from reassuring picture as growth slowed sharply from February's 11.2% and was less than half the 9.1% pace seen in March 2019. And with demand for coal from user sectors spanning thermal generators and the key process industries of steel and cement unlikely to revive anytime soon, production of the crucial commodity is very likely to shrink in April. With the construction sector hit hard by the lockdown and likely to face serious labor supply issues even after the economy gradually reopens, cement may see production shrink in the first month of the new fiscal year by an even greater extent than the 25% drop seen in March. The mayhem in the oil market with global crude prices tumbling is also certain to undermine the industries in the energy sector. Undoubtedly, April's overall core output appears headed for an even sharper contraction, and with the eight major industries having a weight of 40.3% in the broader index of industrial production, it is certain to drag industrial output as a whole into negative territory. The center may be left with little option but to massively lift public spending on infrastructure once the lockdown eases in order to revive the reeling economy. Let's look at the crux of the passage. Economic crisis is looming ahead. The core sector is tanking. Power, electricity, fuel, construction, cement, energy are sectors that are going to have problems. The center may have to artificially increase economic activity post lockdown. Question number one. Let's take a look at these questions. Hi Akshay. Hi Aditya. Which of the following industries are not impacted by the lockdown? So, steel, petroleum, apparel, and cement. All those who have joined in, would you like to take a guess at which of these industries is not impacted by apparel, by the lockdown? Is it apparel? Is it steel? Is it petroleum? Is it cement? Now, very clearly, the passage mentions steel, petroleum, and cement as having been impacted by the lockdown. Apparel is not mentioned in the passage, even though we know that apparel is also an industry that has been impacted. But because it is not mentioned in the passage, and therefore C has to be the correct answer. Question number two, which of the following is not true according to the passage? The electricity distribution companies will face huge losses. True according to the passage. Coal has been profitable this month. I mean by in the month of March. That's also true. The core sector will drag the rest of the industries downwards, has also been mentioned in the passage. The government will not need to take any steps after the lockdown to rejuvenate the economy is false. The writer has very clearly said that the government will have to artificially inject cash into the economy so as to make it to so as to revive it. Question number three, what is the tone of the passage? Is it pessimistic? Is it acerbic? Is it laudatory? Is it maudlin? Maudlin will mean sentimental or emotional, and therefore this cannot be the tone of the passage. Remember, the writer is giving you lots and lots of facts. Therefore, there is no element of it being maudlin at all. Laudatory would mean full of praises, but the writer does not praise anyone. He is giving us facts about the passage. He is telling us what is the status of the economy. Remember, this cannot be a laudatory passage at all. Acerbic. Acerbic means to be making fun of someone, or to be rather very bitter and sharp, and the writer is not bitter or sharp here, so therefore not acerbic. The only tone that could work here would be pessimistic, because the writer is very unhappy with the state of affairs as of now. He says that the economy is it has tanked and it is going to tank further. Therefore, the best tone for this passage should be pessimistic. Let's look at the words. Also, commenced, of course, means started. Shrank means reduced. Augur. Augury means uh, prediction, and therefore, so that is the correct answer. Stress means to give tension. Crucially, most importantly, exempt, to be waived from something. Pace is speed. Spanning means going across certain sectors. Shrink means to reduce. Again, mayhem means chaos. Confusion, tumbling means to fall down. Undermine means to weaken. With that, we come to the end of today's session, guys. Thank you so much. I will see you tomorrow again at this time, 9 a.m. Remember to be there. Thank you. Bye bye. Adios, my amigos.